Welcome back, everybody. We're finally doing the January 2021 Market Watch. So I apologize that it took so long to get around to doing this video. Partially it was because I was working on one of the most ambitious videos I've ever made on the other channel, which is nearly an hour long, and so that ate up a lot of my time. But I do have some free time coming up, and the other reason was that I wanted to wait and see what was going to come out, because we still don't have any pre-orders up for the Rev Raptor or the Liger Zero X, the Liger Zero Empire Markings Plus version, or anything new on the other HMM Wild kits that were announced in the previous couple of months. So I was hoping that that stuff would be available, we'd be able to show it off, but unfortunately not. But we do have lots of cool stuff to show off this month, such as there's this weird Zoids Wild mystery kit project going on where, like, you can get one of the Zoids Wild smaller kits in a new color scheme. I think it's translucent plastic, but I'll have to double check. And it's a mystery which one you get. There's the new ZA Death Stinger that was announced, and so when I first saw pictures of that, people were saying, oh, there's a new Chinese bootleg Death Stinger somewhere on the market, and it's apparently bigger than the HMM version. And so everybody was like, what was this? And then as the days went on, we started to get more and more pictures, more and more articles about it. And I guess it is the same company that does the more high-end master model style kits for the Genesis Ligers. It's that company doing their own Death Stinger that's nearly identical to the HMM Death Stinger, but it's scaled up significantly. It's 1/50th scale, so it's big. It's really big, and so not as big as it probably could be. It still doesn't scale perfectly next to the other Zoids, like in the anime, but it is significantly bigger than the HMM version. Do I recommend buying this? Not really, and we'll get into that in the video. But other than that, I finally did it. Finally finished the Psycho Genosaur, and I am just absolutely amazed at the fact that after all the drama with this kit, that every single piece was usable and not broken or moldy or contaminated or anything. If you guys are familiar with the legacy I have with this kit and all the drama I've gone through with it, thankfully we have it 100% complete. Not a single piece went to waste. And the build was actually pretty smooth, so in about a week from now or so, you should have the review for it up, because I'm going to do that on my upcoming vacation once I have some free time. But yeah, Psycho Genosaur, finally have it. This is not a flex. I'm not trying to flex and be like, oh, look, I have this rare kit, because I had this in my backlog long before it got bought out and became extremely expensive on the secondary market. So I think this was around $160, $180 maybe when I bought it, and now it's like $450 to $600. So that is definitely a thing. But yeah, extraordinarily stable. The only thing I will say is that the minifigure for Reese's organoid, one of the legs broke off, which I can fix. But that was the only problem that it had, in spite of the damage to the box, the water damage at the bottom, the instruction manual being completely destroyed, and Brad hooking me up with a new manual. So we finally did it. We finally built it. You should be expecting the reviews for the Styrazer and the Rising Liger soon. And onto the pickups that I got recently. So I don't think I showed this off since the last Market Watch, but the Xenobreaker repackaged version did come out finally. And I decided at the last minute to go ahead and snag one. And the box, in terms of its dimensions, is the same size as a regular HMM box, but it's much thicker this way. So if I were to put the Psycho Genosaur box on top of it, this box would stick out a little bit further. It's a little bit bigger that way. And absolutely love the artwork on this. It's very reminiscent of the lore, and the artwork ties into the artwork on the 2020 Blade Liger as well as the HMM Death Stinger, so that's really, really cool. Really glad to have that, although I am not looking forward to building it anytime soon, because I just got done with the Genosaur, and I still have PTSD from that tail and the fins that pop out of the tail, because that was an absolute nightmare, as anybody who has built one of those can tell you. The other HMM kit that I got, of course, was the Red Horn. I said I was going to try to snag one of these. I could have gotten the Red Horn or the Dark Horn, but I decided to go with the Red Horn because I already have a beam Gatling unit customized parts kit. And so I can basically make this into a red Darkhorn by doing that. And this is actually not a repackaged version. This is just strictly a reprint of the exact same kit that's already existed. But I've kind of talked about that a little bit in the past. And I got some other things as well. So my friend hooked me up with one of these Bandai model kits. And this is for something very unusual, but it's something that I probably, knowing me, I probably should have gotten a long time ago. But it's these Fate Grand Order chibi character model kits, and this one's for the Summer Nero. I've heard some interesting things about this. This is official Time Moon merchandise, and so it should be a slam dunk. I should have been all over that with how much I love Fate, as you guys know. But I've never built one of these. I've heard they're quite finicky, so I'm not really sure how difficult it's going to be. But based on the size of the package here, I would assume that this is going to be comparable to a high-grade Gundam in terms of complexity. But we'll see what happens there. So I went to Hobbytown in search of the Transformers model kits because I said I was going to get one or two just to see what they were like to build and to do some videos on them because I hadn't really done any content about Transformers in years. And I kept putting it off. I was like, I have a big enough backlog of model kits as it is. I don't need to buy anything else. And then I finally was like, okay, let me just go ahead and splurge and get one while I'm getting ready for my vacation, that kind of thing. And they were out. So I waited, and I was punished for it because they were gone. I said, okay, well, if they're not there, it wasn't meant to be. So I didn't need to waste my money on it if they didn't have it. But then I went by Win Condition, and not only did they have one for the same price, but they actually had the ideal one that I would want, which is Starscream. So I ended up picking him up. So we have the Starscream model kit. These are interesting because they are official, like, licensed, like Takara Transformers products, but they are they're model kits and they don't transform. So it's just a super articulated, super detailed robot mode, which I'm pretty excited about. And a lot of these are based off of the IDW comic style, visual style, which I'm pretty excited about. And then I did a curbside pickup with Steel Collectibles to get some loose Transformers that they had. I'll probably do a video on Transformers pretty soon because it's been such a long time since I've done anything about that. I'm sure there's some people that watch this channel that are Transformers enthusiasts as well. But I did that curbside order at Steel Collectibles, and I picked something up that they had in stock there at the same time. And it was one of the Bandai Pacific Rim model kits. I have the Gypsy Avenger, but I didn't have any of the others, and I'm actually probably going to build the Gypsy Avenger very soon and do a video on that. I made a joke in the Liger Zero Jaeger video. I was like, oh yeah, here's the Jaeger review, and it was the Gypsy Avenger. So, but I got another one, so it's Bracer Phoenix, which, again, this is technically a high-grade Gunpla, is what this is. But what I suspect, I don't know this for a fact, because I tried to look up a size comparison of what these look like built next to other high-grade Gundams. I have a high-grade Eva Unit 1, and even though it is the same build complexity as a high-grade Gundam, it is significantly taller because they're the same scale, but Eva is just a bigger robot in actual realistic dimensions. And so the Jaegers are the same thing. The Jaegers are absolutely massive in terms of mecha size. So what I'm hoping for is that these Bandai Pacific Rim kits, even though they're going to be simple to build like a high-grade Gundam, they will be very big, and they will tower over an actual high-grade Gundam in terms of size. I don't see that necessarily happening because, again, these boxes are the exact same size as a high-grade Gundam box, but we'll see. If not, they take up less space in the collection, so who cares? But anyway, that's about it, so let's go ahead and get into this month's Market Watch. Zoids Twitter posted this image, and while this is pretty ambiguous, it just says next new Zoids coming soon, which could mean anything. Could be new anime, could be a new game, whatever, we have no idea. But what we can infer by this, what most people have inferred by this image, is that this is a model kit of one of the Ligers used by the Republic forces in Zoids Wild Zero. And we can kind of identify the markings and kind of confirm that to be true. Originally, these were just a background detail in the show, and this is what they looked like right here. So there's a lot of Zoids Wild Zoids that were repurposed into the background armies of Zoids Wild Zero, including the Triceratogos as well. Which that one looks pretty cool in this blue color scheme. But yeah, very nice color scheme, looks pretty good. And basically all this is the same motorized Wild Liger with the cannon section from the cannon bowl and some cannons that come off of a customized parts kit. And it looks like someone has already made a garage kit of this, as you can see, where again, literally all they do is they have a base Wild Liger, a cannon bull for this thing, and one of those customized parts kits. And the same customized part kit will probably give them these cannons plus the missile launchers, and that's it. That's all they needed. And this does look pretty good. And so essentially, now just because this exists doesn't mean that they shouldn't make this as an actual model kit. I mean, go for it. We have like a dozen model kits using the original Wild Liger skeleton underneath here, so I think that's kind of a waste. But overall, this is pretty cool, and I hope that they do make it. Here's somebody else's garage kit as well. Not quite as nice of a photo there, but still really cool. So we'll see what happens there. So this stupid thing. Sorry, I did a search and just to prove my point earlier. So the same company that brings us the high-end master model style model kits for the Genesis Ligers, this ZA brand, is giving us a Death Stinger that is not 1/72nd scale, but it's 1/50th scale. So it's big. It is really big. And so that got a lot of people excited. Now, originally a couple days ago, people were sharing around these pictures and saying, hey, be on the lookout. There's a new Chinese bootleg Death Stinger on the market. There's pictures of it coming in. We don't know who made it. We don't know where it's coming from, but just be on the lookout for it. And then as the days went by, we started getting more and more information. And essentially, like I said, this is coming out of the same company that gives us the Genesis Ligers. And if you're interested in it, it is quite affordable, actually, for such a big kit. And it's available on, of course, the USA Gundam Store, which is a reputable site. But it is a site that never deals in Zoids, typically, and I'll get to that. But there's something about this that doesn't sit right with me. And maybe it's just the fact that it was initially brought up as, oh, this is a bootleg to me, to where I'm like, I don't know how I feel about this, but I don't understand how this ZA brand is able to do this, is able to get away with this, being that Kotobukiya already has a licensing agreement to make the HMM Death Stinger. I get it with the Genesis Ligers because Kotobukiya doesn't have the Genesis license and hasn't made any kits from that era, so they can probably work out a separate merchandising agreement with Takara Tomy. But this is different, and so I'm like, if Takara Tomy wanted a bigger Death Stinger, then they would just have Kotobukiya do it. And so it doesn't make any sense that we have this larger scale. I mean, it looks really cool, I'll give it that, but I'm not going to be buying it, not just because of brand loyalty, but because something about this just doesn't sit right with me. Now, I'd like to see a side-by-side comparison of the two. I know these pictures look like they're CG, and they have a lot of added details on there that will probably not be there on the base stock model kit on the HMM version. But the HMM version does look almost as good as, I shouldn't say almost as good. The HMM version looks excellent as well. What most people are saying online is that this is just an HMM Death Stinger scaled up, and that there have been side-by-side comparisons of the actual runners, and it is essentially the same thing. So I'm curious about that. Let me know what you guys think about this. But yeah, the USA Gundam Store, you can straight up just do a search for Zoids. Always when I do it, it autocorrects to Voids. So I gotta get that in there. But as you can see, that's the only Zoids item that they carry, which means they don't deal in Kotobukiya, which makes sense. I've complained about that before, where Kotobukiya kits are insanely hard to import compared to the Bandai Gunpla, which are much more common and much more plentiful, and are probably much more profitable to import because you could import enough quantities of them to have an in-stock to attract customers, whereas with the Kotobukiya, the Zoids, you can only get a couple. I mean, the quantities are so low that your niche customers are satisfied, but you never have enough stock to justify the price of importing them. New thing that they're doing, this is over on HLJ. This is the Zoids Wild Random Kit.
um, package box set thing you can get. And so this is volume 1 apparently. And so you can get one of 2 variants of one of 3 kits. So 3 different Zoids, each with a variant of 2 colors. So 6 kits you can potentially get from this random mystery box style product. And I think this is actually a pretty cool concept. I don't know that I would be doing this though, but I like the idea of it. So I like the idea of this. Although it seems incredibly strange that we're adding this gotcha aspect to Zoids of all things. So kind of strange. I really like the centipede one here. I really like the white and the blue. Kind of reminds me of the Go Raptor LC, which I still need to find. But yeah, these are actually already out of stock on HLJ. So it is what it is. But I just wanted to show off that that's a new product that's coming out. As far as the rest of the stuff on HLJ, so I mentioned how much I think the Xeno Rex is ugly, and I hate the look of it. But there is a variant of it that's coming out, and it comes with this customized parts kit right here, which essentially makes it look like a Genobreaker, so to speak. So it has the side independently articulated arms that have pincers, and I don't like the way that these arms look. They look very plasticky and like they don't belong on the kit. I get that it's oh, that's kind of cool put on the Liger, but yeah, and it gives it a very Genobreaker vibe to it, which is cool, I guess. But I still think this thing just looks ugly. What are we doing? We're gonna go newest. And so you can buy that separately, or you can buy this right here, the Xeno Rex Scissors XA version, which they're molded in different color. Okay, so that does look a lot better by comparison. It looks like the Zoid itself has a slightly remolded head, and yeah, it definitely does. And then it has the arm weapons that doesn't look as bad, I guess. It's still really ugly. War Greymon wants his horn back, and yeah, the actual Berserk Fury arm cutter things are colored in blue and white, which is pretty cool. But yeah, so that's the thing you can get. I think it's hideous. I am not buying it, but it's a thing you can get. So on to the rest of the in stock here on HLJ. Shadow Fox Markings Plus is still available for pre-order. The booster set for the Zoids Wild Senki kits are still available for pre-order, and the Iron Kong PK is available for pre-order as well. And then other than that, the Schneider is gone, so it looks like I missed that. That sucks. They finally got the Gatling units back in stock, and mine is still sitting in my private warehouse waiting to ship because I haven't found anything else I want to buy with it to justify paying for the shipping. Maybe I'll get a gun sniper. I don't know. I'm kind of done with adding more stuff to my backlog right now. Miraculously, the Genobreaker is still in stock. I'm actually really surprised about that. You guys definitely want to pick that up if you like the Genobreaker, because when I tell you it's going to be gone soon, it is going to be gone. If the Genosaur from earlier this year is anything to go by. Strangely enough, as well, HLJ does not appear to have the Gojless Gunner reissue at all. No, my info is not showing up down here. I want to know if the D-Bison's in stock. All right, whatever. Let's move on to AmiAmi. So AmiAmi has a couple of things that the other sites don't have. Of course, they still have these available for pre-order. The reissue of the Liger Zero cast pieces, the Iron Kong PK, and the Shadow Fox. But they also have a lot of Zoids Wild Zero generic merch that has come out. So they have like these little keychain things and these little clear acrylic things. And I kind of like these. I mean, it's probably not something I would invest a ton of money on, but if there's a series that was good enough to warrant having merchandise, Zoids Wild Zero is definitely it. So look at these little guys. They're actually pretty cool. So you can order those for pretty cheap here on... I say pretty cheap. They're like $15. That's a little bit more than what I would pay. They have... Over here on Nin Nin Games, we actually do have the Gojless Gunner HMM reissue for pre-order, but we also have the Saber Tiger, that special prototype version I showed off. So this is supposed to be a Kodo store exclusive, and it has these interesting colors. I've showcased this off in a previous video. I'm not personally a big fan of the look of this, but if you guys want to pick it up, it is pretty cool, and I do recommend it, especially because being that it's an exclusive, it will be gone very fast. So definitely jump on that and pick this guy up. Pretty expensive as well compared to the base Saber Tiger, but you be the judge if you think that's worth it considering the exclusivity of it. But if you compare that to the base Saber Tiger down here, yeah, that price is like night and day. So order at your own discretion there. But the Gojulus Gunner, so initially the Gojulus HMM kit was released with just the body itself, without the Mark II cannons and the little cannon over here on its arm. And so that was the initial kit, and that one was already pretty expensive as it was. And then they made the Gojulus the Ogre, which had the cannons, and it was in the desert colors and all that. And that thing I saw at Anime Expo in 2017. I saw it at the con itself for around this price, and at the Little Tokyo for like over $500. So this seems like a ridiculous price right here, and it is, but I don't know. That's why I'll probably never own an HMM Gojulus. I just can't justify paying that price. But what they did is they sold the Mark II cannon set separately, which you can still buy right now, and then they reissued the regular Gojulus together with it to make the Gojulus Gunner. And this is the reissue of the Gojulus Gunner. So this is like the fourth printing of the Gojulus, but it's probably one of the most complete versions you can get. So that is pretty nice, and it is a fantastic looking kit, and it is very big, but very expensive as well. Probably the biggest and most expensive HMM that exists. Other than that, Ninden Games still has a great in stock. You can still get the Mulgas. You can still pre-order the Shadow Fox. You can still pre-order the Iron Kong PK. Saber Tiger Command Wolf Darkhorn. Darkhorn is actually a pretty good price. The new Gun Sniper. The Wild Liger Garen is still in stock amazingly. That's another one where it's like you want to grab that because not a lot of other places have that, including AmiAmi and HLJ never got that in stock. I'm still tempted to order the D-Bison from here. It's kind of expensive, but it's one of the only places that has it anymore. Yeah, they just have really good in stock. They still have the Iron Kong Yeti, and they even still have the Kojima figure and the Revoltech Zoids. Lastly, the Gun Sniper reissue with the Wild Weasel unit finally came out, and I want to talk about this box art a little bit. We're over here on Plaza Japan, and this box art is pretty cool because it ties in with the lore from the battle story on the box art of the Shield Liger DCSJ, and this is the squadron of gun snipers that would follow Ray Greg and his Shield Liger DCSJ, as you can see right there on the box art. And the Shield Liger DCSJ shows the other side of this camera angle to show that Black Ops team breaking in and revealing the prototype Empire Liger and the Storm Tyranno. So yeah, that's a thing. Other than that, the selection here on Plaza Japan is not great. They have the Mulgas, they have obviously the staples, which would be the Liger Zero and the Berserk Fury. They've got the Saber Tiger. They've got the Red Horn. They've got the Geno Breaker. But other than that, not terribly impressed. They still have the Godos if you guys wanted to snag one of those. But everything past this line is sold out, which is a shame. But it's worth a shot if you guys want to check it out. I will eventually order from this site one day and make up my mind how I feel about it. So that's going to be it for this month's Market Watch. I'm not going to do any eBay stuff this time around because I'm saving up for something a little bit bigger for next month. And because this video was so late in the month, I figure we'll go ahead and just kind of split that off so you guys still get a February Market Watch. So thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Do you guys miss the gaming content I used to do on this channel? Did you guys know this is actually my second channel? My wife Michelle and I over on the primary Starcross Souls channel do gaming content as well as content about conventions and cosplay and some of the niche fandoms we're into such as Fire Emblem, Fate, and Yu-Gi-Oh! I'm also doing a retrospective series on the entire Type Moon series and all of the Fate works. It's a series I'm very proud of and has the highest amount of editing and production quality in anything I've ever done in my entire career of making videos. So if you guys are interested in checking that out, make sure to follow us on the main Star-Crossed Souls channel, and follow Michelle and I on Instagram for her art projects and my cosplay projects. I'll see you guys next time.